Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GM Master Ruel, and peace and salutations to the elect of the true nation of Israel, Yasharallah. Quick lesson, man, on the topic of, these men of Israel, all right, Korah, all right, and Kohath, and Dathan, okay, all right, that came up against Moses in the wilderness, all right, trying to defame him and trying to, how he said, accuse him of just, being wicked and leading, just trying to overthrow him, man, all right, as a prophet, as a man of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right. After seeing the miracles that Moses did through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right, leading our people through the Red Sea, parting the Red Sea, all right, by the will and power of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. After seeing all that, they still wanted to overthrow Moses. Our people were complaining, all right, fantasizing and romanticizing and what's that word? Reminiscing of the times of Egypt. When our people were in Egypt, all right, eating the garlics. They're naming the foods and dainties that they're eating, and how do you say it? Our people were, how do you say it? Not romanticizing. I just said it. Slakia. Reminiscing on thinking about partying, with the Egyptians, with the Hamites again, man. All right. And our people are in the same spirit today, okay? The same people who were doing this to Moses, okay, in the ancient days after the Lord redeemed them from the hands of Egypt. All right, our people were mocking, making fun of Moses, complaining after seeing the miracles, trying to overthrow him, like these men right here, Korah, all right, Kohath and Dathan, all right. Wait. Is it now Korah, Dathan, all right, and Abiram, all right, Abram, okay, not Kohath. Kohath is the father of Izar, all right, but yeah, these men were trying to overthrow Moses because they weren't getting their way in the wilderness. They didn't want to be patient. They didn't want to be obedient to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. The Lord was, be patient. All right. Like the scriptures say, or the brothers be saying, what should have took how do you say, 20 days? Was it 20 days? It took way longer than that, man. I forgot. How long? Let me see. All right, they were in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay. All right. It says the Israelites were not initially supposed to stay in the wilderness for 40 years. The journey to the promised land should have taken mere 11 days. You hear that, man? So this is, man, our people are stiff-necked, complainers, okay? Unrighteous, man, just wicked, okay? Disobedient, stiff-necked, stiff-hearted, hard-hearted, man. All right. hard-headed, How is something that's supposed to take 11 days take 40 years, man? Dang, man. All right. But I'm going to read a little, some precepts. This is Numbers 16. And 1, it says, now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and on the son of Pheleth, sons of Reuben, took men. Okay, so these men, all right, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. All right. And they, all right, so these men had a following, all right, it says, and they came up against Moses. They rose up before Moses. It says, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will shew who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. All right. So, these men were trying to find fault in Moses and Aaron, man. All right. And Moses was just like, man, he prayed to the Lord, and he basically just said to these men, hey, the Lord's going to, choose, who's holy, who he's dealing with and who he's not, man. All right, it's not up to us, My answer is, hey, whoever the Lord chooses, that's the answer, to that, All right. I think I'm looking at a chariot. It might be a little helicopter. I think it's just a helicopter. This is in verse 6. It says, this do take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. All right. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, here I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it be a small thing unto you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all the brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, all right, which said, we will not come up. All right, it says, verse 13, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? All right, that's what they're saying to Moses. All right. You're just trying to rule over us. All right. You're just power tripping over us, man. All right. When they seen the miracles, they seen the miracles, man. All right. That Moses was doing through Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. And they're saying, they were jealous. They were just tired of being in the wilderness. They didn't want to be obedient, or they didn't want to listen to Moses in the will of the Lord. All right. When really that's all because of their fault, because of their stiff-heartedness and wickedness and disobedient asses. All right, donkey's a stubborn animal. Okay. It says, moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or give us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one donkey ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. All right, because Moses was just doing the will of the Lord, man. Moses was not in the spirit or intent to hurt these people, to hurt his people, okay, or use them. All right, but these men were accusing Moses, falsely accusing him. all right, of taking them to a place that doesn't flow with milk and honey, because, hey, Moses was, all right, he was taking them to the promised land, but our people were being stiff-necked, all right, disobedient, all right, stubborn. And that's why something that should have took 11 days took 40 years, all right, because they wanted to be wishy-washy, going in circles, all right, had he said, beating around the bush and whatnot, all right, okay, saying that those Hamites, those Canaanites were giants. You know, how are we going to deal with them? How are we going to overthrow them? They're giants, man. You know, in the land of Canaan, they're huge. You know, and giving them an evil report because they were being scared, all right, and not being obedient, all right, and trusting in Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, and how do you say that? That's just one example, man. All right, our people making a calf, all right, and worshiping it, worshiping idols other than the Lord. Right after they just seen, all right, the miracles of the Lord, happen to them, being redeemed from the hands of the Egyptians. The Lord literally split the water, and they all walked through there. And, right after that, they started worshiping a cow, a fake one too. It says, and Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers thou also, and Aaron each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer. All right. Verse 19, it says, and Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O Yahweh, the God, all right, the Father, all right, the power of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. All right. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door, and their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them in mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up with all the pertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that are pertained unto Korah, and all their goods. they and all that pertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed up them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. All right. And there came out a fire from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar, all right, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hollowed. All right. So yeah, man, that's what the Lord did to these wicked men, all right, who came up against Yahweh Shemel Shai, all right, and his men. okay? Specifically the Lord's men, okay? At that time, man. All right, which was Moses and Aaron, okay? And I brought this out because I was literally just reading. I was going to do a lesson on the giants and you know, the topic of the giants, man, and how we're the giants. Us Israelites, we're giants, man. It's not talking about no 20-foot tall beings, species of humans that were half angel and half human, you know. No, you know, that book of Enoch is false, man. It's not canon. All right, when the scriptures talk about the giants, it's talking about us Israelites. And I was also going to bring out, you know, in the book of Numbers, all right, talking about the giants, you know, that's talking about the Canaanites, an evil report that was given by a stubborn, pussy Israelite, man, all right, that went to the land of Canaan and brought an evil report saying, oh, those Canaanites are huge, you know, let's not go to Canaan, all right, let's not go to that land, man. They're giants. Talking about the tall ass South Sudan people, man. All right, basically what it is, man. All right, those giant Africans, tall ass Africans, man. And the dude was scared. All right. So yeah, man. There's no 20-foot tall species of man, half angel and half man, man. All right, that's all false. Yeah, but that's the topic I was gonna go into. But I started reading and reading and reading, and I got tired. I'm like, you know what? Let me just read myself to sleep. So I read right here. I read, this chapter, and then for some reason the Spirit told me to go to Psalms 101. Okay, I started at 1 because I read Psalms 100. I got Psalms 100 memorized, but I started reading at Psalms 101. All right, and it says, I will sing of mercy and judgment unto the Lord. Will I sing? I will behave myself wisely in the perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. All right, and that's exactly what happened. All right, and it's continuing to happen to these wicked men that come up against the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right. The Lord is literally having the things that they accuse us of doing. The Lord is making that happen unto them. All right, because they're lying about us, man, saying that we're rapists, we mess with little girls, and then bang. How do you say it? Slack it for the stutter, but look at Polite, Brother Polite. What happened to him? He accused us for raping little girls and whatnot. All right. But hey, that's false. It's fake. None of us are messing with little girls, man. And what ended up happening to him? Come to find out that he was messing with a little girl, and now look, he's in prison, getting raped by big dudes, man. Because that's what happens to you, all right? Because those prisoners, they pull up your charges, and they deal with you accordingly. And if they see your charges, your papers, saying that, hey, he's in here for messing with little girls, what are those prisoners gonna do? They're gonna mess with you, exactly like that, man. And I know because I watch YouTube videos. I used to watch prison YouTube videos. Men that got out of prison, and they would say, oh yeah, the first thing that happens once you get into prison, we look at your paperwork, man. All right. And why the hell you're in there? Oh, this dude was a chomo. He was messing with little kids. Well, we're gonna mess with him, all right, accordingly. And that dude he might die that night, So hey, man, it's better for you. I'm gonna bring out the scripture, but I'm gonna read a few more. It says, verse 8. It says, I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. All right. Selah. It doesn't say Selah, but I'm saying Selah. All right. call Allah Yahweh Shem Al Shai. All right. So yeah, man. Hey, the Lord is the one that does it, man. All right. We hate those that hate the Lord, man. All right. Do we not hate those with the perfect hatred? All right, that hate the Lord. All right. So yeah. Oh. Yeah, I read. But yeah, that night I read. It was a couple of days ago. I read from Psalms 101 to 107, and guess what it mentioned, man? All right. Guess what? Chapter 7 talks about, man. All right. Was it 7 or was it 6? I think it was 7. Slakia. It mentions it's a precept to what happened in the book of Numbers, man. All right. Let me see. I think it's in chapter 6. Yeah, I think it's chapter 6. Previous. Okay, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start at just start at 1 and read all the way down. It says, "Praise ye the Lord, O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord? Who can shew forth all his praise? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Remember me, O Lord, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory in thine inheritance. Ye have sinned with our fathers." All right. "We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths, as through the wilderness. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. And the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. Then believed they his words. They sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted Yahweh Bashem Yahshai in the desert." All right. "And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. They envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron, the saint of the Lord. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan, and covered the company of Abram." All right. "And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. They made a calf in Horeb, and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass." All right. "They forgot Yahweh, their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt, wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea." All right. "Therefore he said that he would destroy them, had not Moses, his chosen, stood before him in the breach to turn away his wrath." Okay, so yeah, man. Talking about verse 17, "The earth opened and swallowed Dathan, and covered them, the company of him," man. All right, of Abram. Okay. The Spirit just told me to read chapter 1 to chapter 6. I'm like, that's the Spirit. I'm gonna do a lesson on that. Here I am doing a lesson, man. And just, hey, man, our enemies, man. No matter what our enemies throw at us, all right, just trust and be patient and be faithful and loyal to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. All right, and throw up these curses, man. All right, the brothers be saying, throw up curses. All right, I gotta throw up some, some more. I gotta throw up some curses, man. I'm trying to get better at the prayer, man, in the Lashon Kodash. To throw up curses, man. I just say, Babu Kusha, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, deal with my enemies, you know. I just give my all my trust to Yahweh Shem Yahshai, that the Lord is going to deal with my enemies if I be obedient and faithful to Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. If I want the Lord to, to have my enemies be at peace with me, or the Lord to deal with my enemies and judge them, then what do we have to do, man? Yeah, we throw up these curses, but we got to be obedient to the Lord, man. All right? We got to do what the Lord commands us to do. We got to be good sons to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Go out there to the highways and byways, all right? Be obedient, all right? Study, be in the spirit, pray, stay righteous, man. Stay in the spirit, constantly calling on Yahweh Shem Yahshai, being charitable, being loving and brotherly, man. Cordial, towards each other, man. All right, and show love and righteous judgment around each other, man. If a brother's going off, hey, sometimes you gotta rebuke the brother sharply. Sometimes you gotta rebuke them softly, because hey, every brother's different. That's why we gotta stay in the spirit, so we do that which is seemly, that which is comely to the Lord. All right. Rehearse the righteous acts. So I hope this is edifying to the elect. I got some precepts. Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men." That's our people, man. Just wicked. Wicked men. Okay. This is 2 Kings 2:44. It says, "The king said, moreover, to Shimei, all right, thou knowest all the wickedness which thine heart is privy to, that thou didst to David my father. Therefore the Lord shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head." All right, and that's what the Lord does daily, not just to our enemies, but to everybody, man, that doesn't want to serve Yahweh Shem Yahshai. All right, the Lord has done it to us. All right, before we came into this truth. And sometimes when we go off here and there, hey, the Lord just, he judges us right there. Sometimes later on, we did some, we did some wickedness, and bang, the Lord judges us a week later, or a month later, or a year later. What you do shall be done upon you, man. All right, that's why the whole duty of man is to fear the Lord and keep his commandments. All right. So I hope this is edifying to the elect.